Ganesha.
Ganesha, also spelled Ganesa, also known as Ganapati and Vinayaka, is a widely worshipped deity in the Hindu pantheon. His image is found throughout India and Nepal. Hindu sects worship him regardless of affiliations. Devotion to Ganesha is widely diffused and extends to Jains, Buddhists, and beyond India. Although he is known by many attributes, Ganesha's elephant head makes him easy to identify. Ganesha is widely revered as the remover of obstacles, the patron of arts and sciences and the deva of intellect and wisdom. As the god of beginnings, he is honored at the start of rituals and ceremonies. Ganesha is also invoked as patron of letters and learning during writing sessions. Several texts relate mythological anecdotes associated with his birth and exploits and explain his distinct iconography. Ganesha emerged as a distinct deity in the 4th and 5th centuries CE, during the Gupta period, although he inherited traits from Vedic and pre-Vedic precursors. He was formally included among the 5 primary deities of Smartism, a Hindu denomination, in the 9th century. A sect of devotees called the Ganapati arose, who identified Ganesha as the supreme deity. The principal scriptures dedicated to Ganesha are the Ganesha Purana, the Mudgala Purana, and the Ganapati Atharvashirsa.
Etymology and other names.
Ganesha has been ascribed many other titles and epithets, including Ganapati and Vinayaka. The Hindu title of respect Shri, Sanskrit, Shah. IAST, Shri. Also spelled Shri or Shri, is often added before his name. One popular way Ganesha is worshipped is by chanting a Ganesha Sahasranama, a litany of 1,000 names of Ganesha. Each name in the Sahasranama conveys a different meaning and symbolizes a different aspect of Ganesha. At least 2 different versions of the Ganesha Sahasranama exist. One version is drawn from the Ganesha Purana, a Hindu scripture venerating Ganesha. The name Ganesha is a Sanskrit compound, joining the words Gana, Sanskrit, GNN. IAST, Gana, meaning a group, multitude, or categorical system, and Isha, Sanskrit, Ish. IAST, Isa, meaning lord or master. The word Gana when associated with Ganesha is often taken to refer to the Ganas, a troupe of semi-divine beings that form part of the retinue of Shiva, IAST, Shiva. The term more generally means a category, class, community, association, or corporation. Some commentators interpret the name Lord of the Ganas to mean Lord of Hosts, or Lord of created categories, such as the elements. Ganapati, Sanskrit, GNNPTI. IAST, Ganapati, a synonym for Ganesha, is a compound composed of Gana, meaning group, and Pati, meaning ruler, or lord. The Amarakosha, an early Sanskrit lexicon, lists 8 synonyms of Ganesha: Vinayaka, Vinaraja, equivalent to Vinesha; Vaimatura, one who has 2 mothers; Ganadhyapa, equivalent to Ganapati and Ganesha; Ekadanta, one who has 1 tusk; Haramba, Lambodara, one who has a pot belly, or, literally, one who has a hanging belly; and Gajanana, IAST, Gajanana, having the face of an elephant. Vinayaka, Sanskrit, Vinak. IAST, Vinayaka, is a common name for Ganesha that appears in the Puranas and in Buddhist Tantras. This name is reflected in the naming of the 8 famous Ganesha temples in Maharashtra known as the Ashtavinayak, Astavinayaka. The names Vinesha, Sanskrit, Vinesh. IAST, Vinesa, and Vineshva, Vineshv. Vinesva, Lord of Obstacles, refers to his primary function in Hindu theology as the master and remover of obstacles, Vina. A prominent name for Ganesha in the Tamil language is Pillai, Tamil, Pillai, or Pillayar, Pillayar, little child. A.K. Narain differentiates these terms by saying that Pillai means a child while Pillayar means a noble child. He adds that the words Palu, Pella, and Pel in the Dravidian family of languages signify tooth or tusk, also elephant tooth or tusk. Anita Rainath Thapan notes that the root word Pil in the name Pillayar might have originally meant the young of the elephant, because the Pali word Pilaka means a young elephant. In the Burmese language, Ganesha is known as Mahapane, Mhorpanai, pronounced, derived from Pali Vinayaka, Mhoinak. The widespread name of Ganesha in Thailand is Phraphikhanat or Phraphikhanasuan, both of which are derived from Varavinesha and Varavineshwar respectively, whereas the name Kanat, from Ganesha, is rather rare. In Sri Lanka in the north-central and northwestern areas with predominantly Buddhist population, Ganesha is known as Ayanayaka Devio, while in other Sinhala Buddhist areas he is known as Gana Devio.
Iconography.
Ganesha is a popular figure in Indian art. Unlike those of some deities, representations of Ganesha show wide variations and distinct patterns changing over time. He may be portrayed standing, dancing, heroically taking action against demons, playing with his family as a boy, sitting down or on an elevated seat, or engaging in a range of contemporary situations. Ganesha images were prevalent in many parts of India by the 6th century. The 13th century statue pictured as typical of Ganesha statuary from 900 to 1200, after Ganesha had been well established as an independent deity with his own sect. This example features some of Ganesha's common iconographic elements. A virtually identical statue has been dated between 973 to 1200 by Paul Martin Dubust, and another similar statue is dated c. 12th century by Pratapaditya Pal. Ganesha has the head of an elephant and a big belly. This statue has 4 arms, which is common in depictions of Ganesha. He holds his own broken tusk in his lower right hand and holds a delicacy, which he samples with his trunk, in his lower left hand. The motif of Ganesha turning his trunk sharply to his left to taste a sweet in his lower left hand is a particularly archaic feature. A more primitive statue in one of the Ellora caves with this general form has been dated to the 7th century. Details of the other hands are difficult to make out on the statue shown. In the standard configuration, Ganesha typically holds an axe or a goad in one upper arm and a pasha, noose, in the other upper arm. The influence of this old constellation of iconographic elements can still be seen in contemporary representations of Ganesha. In one modern form, the only variation from these old elements is that the lower right hand does not hold the broken tusk but is turned towards the viewer in a gesture of protection or fearlessness, Abhaya Mudra. The same combination of forearms and attributes occurs in statues of Ganesha dancing, which is a very popular theme.
Common attributes.
Ganesha has been represented with the head of an elephant since the early stages of his appearance in Indian art. Puranic myths provide many explanations for how he got his elephant head. One of his popular forms, Haramba Ganapati, has 5 elephant heads, and other less common variations in the number of heads are known. While some texts say that Ganesha was born with an elephant head, he acquires the head later in most stories. The most recurrent motif in these stories is that Ganesha was created by Parvati using clay to protect her, and Shiva beheaded him when Ganesha came between Shiva and Parvati. Shiva then replaced Ganesha's original head with that of an elephant. Details of the battle and where the replacement head came from vary from source to source. Another story says that Ganesha was created directly by Shiva's laughter. Because Shiva considered Ganesha too alluring, he gave him the head of an elephant and a protruding belly. Ganesha's earliest name was Ekadanta, one tusked, referring to his single whole tusk, the other being broken. Some of the earliest images of Ganesha show him holding his broken tusk. The importance of this distinctive feature is reflected in the Mujla Purana, which states that the name of Ganesha's second incarnation is Ekadanta. Ganesha's protruding belly appears as a distinctive attribute in his earliest statuary, which dates to the Gupta period, 4th to 6th centuries. This feature is so important that, according to the Mujla Purana, 2 different incarnations of Ganesha use names based on it, Lambodara, pot belly, or, literally, hanging belly, and Mahotara, great belly. Both names are Sanskrit compounds describing his belly, iast. Adara. The Brahmanda Purana says that Ganesha has the name Lambodara because all the universes, that is, cosmic eggs, iast, Brahmandas, of the past, present, and future are present in him. The number of Ganesha's arms varies. His best-known forms have between 2 and 16 arms. Many depictions of Ganesha feature 4 arms, which is mentioned in Puranic sources and codified as a standard form in some iconographic texts. His earliest images had 2 arms. Forms with 14 and 20 arms appeared in central India during the 9th and the 10th centuries. The serpent is a common feature in Ganesha iconography and appears in many forms. According to the Ganesha Purana, Ganesha wrapped the serpent Vasuki around his neck. Other depictions of snakes include use as a sacred thread, IAST, Yajapavata, wrapped around the stomach as a belt, held in a hand, coiled at the ankles, or as a throne. Upon Ganesha's forehead may be a third eye or the Shaivite sectarian mark, IAST, Tilaka, which consists of 3 horizontal lines. The Ganesha Purana prescribes a Tilaka mark as well as a crescent moon on the forehead. A distinct form of Ganesha called Balakhandra, IAST, Palakhandra. Moon on the forehead includes that iconographic element. Ganesha is often described as red in color. Specific colors are associated with certain forms. Many examples of color associations with specific meditation forms are prescribed in this Ratattvanidhi, a treatise on Hindu iconography. For example, white is associated with his representations as Haramba Ganapati and Reenam Ganapati, Ganapati who releases from bondage. Ekadanti Ganapati is visualized as blue during meditation in that form.
Vahanas.
The earliest Ganesha images are without a vahana, mount vehicle. Of the 8 incarnations of Ganesha described in the Mudgala Purana, Ganesha uses a mouse, shrew, in 5 of them, a lion in his incarnation as Vakrtunda, a peacock in his incarnation as Vikata, and Shesha, the divine serpent, in his incarnation as Vinaraja. Mahotkata uses a lion, Mahusvara uses a peacock, Dhamrakta uses a horse, and Gajanana uses a mouse, in the 4 incarnations of Ganesha listed in the Ganesha Purana. Jain depictions of Ganesha show his vahana variously as a mouse, elephant, tortoise, ram, or peacock. Ganesha is often shown riding on or attended by a mouse, shrew or rat. Martin Dubist says that the rat began to appear as the principal vehicle in sculptures of Ganesha in central and western India during the 7th century. The rat was always placed close to his feet. The mouse as a mount first appears in written sources in the Matsya Purana and later in the Brahmananda Purana and Ganesha Purana, where Ganesha uses it as his vehicle in his last incarnation. The Ganapati Atharvashirsa includes a meditation verse on Ganesha that describes the mouse appearing on his flag. The names Musakavahana, mouse mount, and Akhyuterna, rat banner, appear in the Ganesha Sahasranama. The mouse is interpreted in several ways. According to Grimes, many, if not most of those who interpret Ganapati's mouse, do so negatively. It symbolizes tamoguna as well as desire. Along these lines, Michael Wilcoxon says it symbolizes those who wish to overcome desires and be less selfish. Krishan notes that the rat was destructive and a menace to crops. The Sanskrit word mavsaka, mouse, is derived from the root mas, stealing, robbing. It was essential to subdue the rat as a destructive pest, a type of vina, impediment, that needed to be overcome. According to this theory, showing Ganesha as master of the rat demonstrates his function as Vigneshwar, lord of obstacles, and gives evidence of his possible role as a folk grama devata, village deity, who later rose to greater prominence. Martin Dubist notes a view that the rat is a symbol suggesting that Ganesha, like the rat, penetrates even the most secret places.
Associations. Obstacles.
Ganesha is Vineshwar or Vinaraja or Vinahata, Marathi, the lord of obstacles, both of a material and spiritual order. He is popularly worshipped as a remover of obstacles, though traditionally he also places obstacles in the path of those who need to be checked. Paul Courtright says that his task in the divine scheme of things, his dharma, is to place and remove obstacles. It is his particular territory, the reason for his creation. Krishan notes that some of Ganesha's names reflect shadings of multiple roles that have evolved over time. Tavalekar ascribes the quick ascension of Ganesha in the Hindu pantheon, and the emergence of the Ganapatyas, to this shift in emphasis from Vinayaka, obstacle creator, to Vinahata, obstacle averter. However, both functions continue to be vital to his character.
Buddhi knowledge.
Ganesha is considered to be the lord of letters and learning. In Sanskrit, the word buddhi is a feminine noun that is variously translated as intelligence, wisdom, or intellect. The concept of buddhi is closely associated with the personality of Ganesha, especially in the Puranic period, when many stories stress his cleverness and love of intelligence. One of Ganesha's names in the Ganesha Purana and the Ganesha Sahasranama is Buddhipriya. This name also appears in a list of 21 names at the end of the Ganesha Sahasranama that Ganesha says are especially important. The word priya can mean fond of, and in a marital context it can mean lover, or husband, so the name may mean either fond of intelligence, or Buddhi's husband.
Om.
Ganesha is identified with the Hindu mantra Om, Telugu, Oon, Tamil, Yum, Sanskrit, Aum, also spelled Om. The term Omkarasvayupa, Om is his form, when identified with Ganesha, refers to the notion that he personifies the primal sound. The Ganapati Atharvashirsa attests to this association. Chinmayananda translates the relevant passage as follows. Some devotees see similarities between the shape of Ganesha's body in iconography and the shape of Om in the Devanagari and Tamil scripts.
First chakra.
According to Kundalini Yoga, Ganesha resides in the first chakra, called Muladhara, Muladhara. Mula means original, main. Adhara means base, foundation. The Muladhara chakra is the principle on which the manifestation or outward expansion of primordial divine force rests. This association is also attested to in the Ganapati Atharvashirsa. Cartwright translates this passage as follows, "You continually dwell in the sacral plexus at the base of the spine." Thus, Ganesha has a permanent abode in every being at the Muladhara. Ganesha holds, supports and guides all other chakras, thereby governing the forces that propel the wheel of life.
Family and consorts.
Though Ganesha is popularly held to be the son of Shiva and Parvati, the Puranic myths give different versions about his birth. He may have been created by Parvati, or by Shiva and Parvati, or may have appeared mysteriously and was discovered by Shiva and Parvati. The family includes his brother the war god Kartikeya, who is also called Subramanya, Skanda, Murugan and other names. Regional differences dictate the order of their births. In northern India, Skanda is generally said to be the elder, while in the south, Ganesha is considered the firstborn. In northern India, Skanda was an important martial deity from about 500 BCE to about 600 CE, when worship of him declined significantly in northern India. As Skanda fell, Ganesha rose. Several stories tell of sibling rivalry between the brothers and may reflect sectarian tensions. Ganesha's marital status, the subject of considerable scholarly review, varies widely in mythological stories. One pattern of myths identifies Ganesha as an unmarried Brahmachari. This view is common in southern India and parts of northern India. Another pattern associates him with the concepts of buddhi, intellect, siddhi, spiritual power, and riddhi, prosperity. These qualities are sometimes personified as goddesses, said to be Ganesha's wives. He also may be shown with a single consort or a nameless servant, Sanskrit, dasi. Another pattern connects Ganesha with the goddess of culture and the arts, Sarasvati or Sada, particularly in Maharashtra. He is also associated with the goddess of luck and prosperity, Lakshmi. Another pattern, mainly prevalent in the Bengal region, links Ganesha with the banana tree, Kalabo. The Shiva Purana says that Ganesha had begotten two sons, Ksema, prosperity, and Labha, profit. In northern Indian variants of this story, the sons are often said to be Subha, auspiciousness, and Labha. The 1975 Hindi film Ji Santoshi Ma shows Ganesha married to Riddhi and Siddhi and having a daughter named Santoshi Ma, the goddess of satisfaction. The story has no Puranic basis, but Anita Ray Enith Thapan and Lawrence Cohen cite Santoshi Ma's cult as evidence of Ganesha's continuing evolution as a popular deity.
Worship and festivals.
Ganesha is worshipped on many religious and secular occasions, especially at the beginning of ventures such as buying a vehicle or starting a business. K.N. Somaorji says, "There can hardly be a home which does not house an idol of Ganapati." Ganapati, being the most popular deity in India, is worshipped by almost all castes and in all parts of the country. Devotees believe that if Ganesha is propitiated, he grants success, prosperity and protection against adversity. Ganesha is a non-sectarian deity, and Hindus of all denominations invoke him at the beginning of prayers, important undertakings, and religious ceremonies. Dancers and musicians, particularly in southern India, begin performances of arts such as the Bharatanatyam dance with a prayer to Ganesha. Mantras such as Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah, Om, salutation to the illustrious Ganesha, are often used. One of the most famous mantras associated with Ganesha is Om Gam Ganapati Namah, Om, Gam, salutation to the Lord of Hosts. Devotees offer Ganesha sweets such as modaka and small sweet balls, ladus. He is often shown carrying a bowl of sweets, called a modkapatra. Because of his identification with the color red, he is often worshipped with red sandalwood paste, raktakandana, or red flowers. Durva grass, cynodon and other materials are also used in his worship. Festivals associated with Ganesha: Ganesh Chaturthi or Vinayaka Chaturthi in the Cyclopaksa, the fourth day of the waxing moon, in the month of Bhadrapada, August-September, and the Ganesa Jayanti, Ganesa's birthday, celebrated on the Chaturthi of the Cyclopaksa, fourth day of the waxing moon, in the month of Magha, January-February.
Ganesh Chaturthi.
An annual festival honors Ganesha for 10 days, starting on Ganesha Chaturthi, which typically falls in late August or early September. The festival begins with people bringing in clay idols of Ganesha, symbolizing Ganesha's visit. The festival culminates on the day of Ananta Chaturdashi, when idols, murtis, of Ganesha are immersed in the most convenient body of water. Some families have a tradition of immersion on the second, third, fifth, or seventh day. In 1893, Lokmanya Tilak transformed this annual Ganesha festival from private family celebrations into a grand public event. He did so to bridge the gap between the Brahmins and the non-Brahmins and find an appropriate context in which to build a new grassroots unity between them in his nationalistic strivings against the British in Maharashtra. Because of Ganesha's wide appeal as the god for every man, Tilak chose him as a rallying point for Indian protest against British rule. Tilak was the first to install large public images of Ganesha in pavilions, and he established the practice of submerging all the public images on the 10th day. Today, Hindus across India celebrate the Ganapati festival with great fervour, though it is most popular in the state of Maharashtra. The festival also assumes huge proportions in Mumbai, Pune, and in the surrounding belt of Ashtavinayaka temples.
Temples.
In Hindu temples, Ganesha is depicted in various ways, as an acolyte or subordinate deity, Parsva-devata. As a deity related to the principal deity, Privra-devata. Or as the principal deity of the temple, Pradhana, treated similarly as the highest gods of the Hindu pantheon. As the god of transitions, he is placed at the doorway of many Hindu temples to keep out the unworthy, which is analogous to his role as Parvati's doorkeeper. In addition, several shrines are dedicated to Ganesha himself, of which the Ashtavinayak, Sanskrit, Astavinayaka, Litate Ganesha, shrines, in Maharashtra are particularly well known. Located within a 100-kilometer radius of the city of Pune, each of these 8 shrines celebrates a particular form of Ganapati, complete with its own lore and legend. The 8 shrines are, Morgaon, Siddhatek, Pali, Mahad, Thur, Lanyadri, Ozar and Ranjangan. There are many other important Ganesha temples at the following locations: in Maharashtra, Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh, Jodhpur, Nagaon and Raipur, Pali, in Rajasthan, Baidyanath in Bihar, Baroda, Tilaka, and Valsad in Gujarat, and Dandiraj Temple in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Prominent Ganesha temples in southern India include the following: Kanipakam in Chittor, the Jamkeswara Temple at Tiruchirappalli, at Rameshwaram and Suchindram in Tamil Nadu, at Mayur, Kontarakara, Pashavangadi, Kasaragod in Kerala, Hampi, and at Agunji in Karnataka, and Bhadrachalam in Andhra Pradesh. T. A. Gopinatha notes, every village however small has its own image of Vigneshwar, Vigneshwar, with or without a temple to house it in. At entrances of villages and forts, below Pipala, sacred fig trees, in a niche in temples of Vishnu, as well as Shiva, and also in separate shrines specially constructed and Shiva temples. A figure of Vigneshwar is invariably seen. Ganesha temples have also been built outside of India, including Southeast Asia, Nepal, including the 4 Vinayaka shrines in the Kathmandu Valley, and in several Western countries.
Rise to prominence. First appearance.
Ganesha appeared in his classic form as a clearly recognizable deity with well-defined iconographic attributes in the early 4th to 5th centuries. Shantilal Nagar says that the earliest known iconic image of Ganesha is in the niche of the Shiva temple at Pumra, which has been dated to the Gupta period. His independent cult appeared by about the 10th century. Narayan summarizes the controversy between devotees and academics regarding the development of Ganesha as follows.
Possible influences.
Cartwright reviews various speculative theories about the early history of Ganesha, including supposed tribal traditions and animal cults, and dismisses all of them in this way. Thupan's book on the development of Ganesha devotes a chapter to speculations about the role elephants had in early India but concludes that, although by the 2nd century CE the elephant-headed yaksa form exists, it cannot be presumed to represent Ganapati Vinayaka. There is no evidence of a deity by this name having an elephant or elephant-headed form at this early stage. Ganapati Vinayaka had yet to make his debut. One theory of the origin of Ganesha is that he gradually came to prominence in connection with the 4 Vinayakas. In Hindu mythology, the Vinayakas were a group of 4 troublesome demons who created obstacles and difficulties but who were easily propitiated. The name Vinayaka is a common name for Ganesha both in the Puranas and in Buddhist Tantras. Krishan is one of the academics who accepts this view, stating flatly of Ganesha, he is a non-Vedic god. His origin is to be traced to the 4 Vinayakas, evil spirits, of the Manavaghya Sutra, 7th-4th century BCE, who cause various types of evil and suffering. Depictions of elephant-headed human figures, which some identify with Ganesha, appear in Indian art and coinage as early as the 2nd century. According to Olawala, the elephant-headed Ganesha as lord of the Ganas was known to the people of Sri Lanka in the early pre-Christian era. A metal plate depiction of Ganesha had been discovered in 1993, in Iran. It dated back to 1200 BCE. Another one was discovered much before, in Lorestan province of Iran.
Vedic and epic literature.
The title leader of the group, Sanskrit, Ganapati, occurs twice in the Rig Veda, but in neither case does it refer to the modern Ganesha. The term appears in RV 2.23.1 as a title for Brahmanaspati, according to commentators. While this verse doubtless refers to Brahmanaspati, it was later adopted for worship of Ganesha and is still used today. In rejecting any claim that this passage is evidence of Ganesha in the Rig Veda, Ludo Rocha says that it clearly refers to Paspati, who is the deity of the hymn, and Paspati only. Equally clearly, the second passage, RV 10.112.9, refers to Indra, who is given the epithet Ganapati, translated Lord of the Companies, of the Maruts. However, Rocha notes that the more recent Ganapatya literature often quotes the Rig Vedic verses to give Vedic respectability to Ganesha. 2 verses in texts belonging to Black Yajurveda, Maitreya Samhita, 2.9.1, and Taittiriya Aranyaka, 10.1, appeal to a deity as the tasked one, Dansha, elephant-faced, Hastamaka, and with a curved trunk, Vakratunda. These names are suggestive of Ganesha, and the 14th-century commentator Siana explicitly establishes this identification. The description of Dantan, possessing a twisted trunk, Vakratunda, and holding a corn sheaf, a sugar cane, and a club, is so characteristic of the Puranic Ganapati that Heras says we cannot resist to accept his full identification with this Vedic Dantan. However, Krishan considers these hymns to be post-Vedic additions. Thupan reports that these passages are generally considered to have been interpolated. Tavalikar says, the references to the elephant-headed deity in the Maitrayani Samhita have been proven to be very late interpolations, and thus are not very helpful for determining the early formation of the deity. Ganesha does not appear in Indian epic literature that is dated to the Vedic period. A late interpolation to the epic poem Mahabharata says that the sage Vyasa asked Ganesha to serve as his scribe to transcribe the poem as he dictated it to him. Ganesha agreed, but only on condition that Vyasa recite the poem uninterrupted, that is, without pausing. The sage agreed, but found that to get any rest he needed to recite very complex passages, so Ganesha would have to ask for clarifications. The story is not accepted as part of the original text by the editors of the critical edition of the Mahabharata, in which the 20-line story is relegated to a footnote in an appendix. The story of Ganesha acting as the scribe occurs in 37 of the 59 manuscripts consulted during preparation of the critical edition. Ganesha's association with mental agility and learning is one reason he is shown as scribe for Vyasa's dictation of the Mahabharata in this interpolation. Richard L. Brown dates the story to the 8th century, and Morris Wintonitz concludes that it was known as earlier c. 900, but it was not added to the Mahabharata some 150 years later. Wintonitz also notes that a distinctive feature in South Indian manuscripts of the Mahabharata is their omission of this Ganesha legend. The term Vinayaka is found in some recensions of the Santiparva and Anushasana Parva that are regarded as interpolations. A reference to Vinakatrinam, creator of obstacles in Vanaparva, is also believed to be an interpolation and does not appear in the critical edition.
Puranic period.
Stories about Ganesha often occur in the Puranic corpus. Brown notes while the Puranas defy precise chronological ordering, the more detailed narratives of Ganesha's life are in the late texts, c. 600 to 1300. Yavraj Krishan says that the Puranic myths about the birth of Ganesha and how he acquired an elephant's head are in the later Puranas, which were composed from c. 600 onwards. He elaborates on the matter to say that references to Ganesha in the earlier Puranas, such as the Vala and Brahmanda Puranas, are later interpolations made during the 7th to 10th centuries. In his survey of Ganesha's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature, Ludo Rocha notes that Ganesha's rise to prominence was codified in the 9th century, when he was formally included as one of the 5 primary deities of Smartism. The 9th century philosopher Sankaracharya popularized the worship of the 5 forms, Pankayatana Puja, system among orthodox Brahmins of the Smarta tradition. This worship practice invokes the 5 deities Ganesha, Vishnu, Shiva, Devi, and Surya. Sankaracharya instituted the tradition primarily to unite the principal deities of these 5 major sects on an equal status. This formalized the role of Ganesha as a complementary deity.
Scriptures.
Once Ganesha was accepted as one of the 5 principal deities of Brahmanism, some Brahmins, Brahmanas, chose to worship Ganesha as their principal deity. They developed the Ganapatiya tradition, as seen in the Ganesha Purana and the Mudgala Purana. The date of composition for the Ganesha Purana and the Mudgala Purana, and their dating relative to one another, has sparked academic debate. Both works were developed over time and contain age-layered strata. Anita Thupan reviews comments about dating and provides her own judgment. It seems likely that the core of the Ganesha Purana appeared around the 12th and 13th centuries, she says, but was later interpolated. Lawrence W. Preston considers the most reasonable date for the Ganesha Purana to be between 1100 and 1400, which coincides with the apparent age of the sacred sites mentioned by the text. R.C. Hazara suggests that the Mujla Purana is older than the Ganesha Purana, which he dates between 1100 and 1400. However, Phyllis Granoff finds problems with this relative dating and concludes that the Mujla Purana was the last of the philosophical texts concerned with Ganesha. She bases her reasoning on the fact that, among other internal evidence, the Mujla Purana specifically mentions the Ganesha Purana as one of the four Puranas, the Brahma, the Brahmanda, the Ganesha, and the Mujla Puranas, which deal at length with Ganesha. While the kernel of the text must be old, it was interpolated until the 17th and 18th centuries as the worship of Ganapati became more important in certain regions. Another highly regarded scripture, the Ganapati Atharvashirsa, was probably composed during the 16th or 17th centuries.
Beyond India and Hinduism.
In 1993, a metal plate depiction of Ganesha had been discovered, in Iran, dating back to 1200 BCE. Commercial and cultural contacts extended India's influence in Western and Southeast Asia. Ganesha is one of a number of Hindu deities who reached foreign lands as a result. Ganesha was particularly worshipped by traders and merchants, who went out of India for commercial ventures. From approximately the 10th century onwards, new networks of exchange developed, including the formation of trade guilds and a resurgence of money circulation. During this time, Ganesha became the principal deity associated with traders. The earliest inscription invoking Ganesha before any other deity is associated with the merchant community. Hindus migrated to maritime Southeast Asia and took their culture, including Ganesha, with them. Statues of Ganesha are found throughout the region, often beside Shiva sanctuaries. The forms of Ganesha found in Hindu art of Java, Bali, and Borneo show specific regional influences. The spread of Hindu culture to Southeast Asia established Ganesha in modified forms in Burma, Cambodia, and Thailand. In Indochina, Hinduism and Buddhism were practiced side by side, and mutual influences can be seen in the iconography of Ganesha in the region. In Thailand, Cambodia, and among the Hindu classes of the Chams in Vietnam, Ganesha was mainly thought of as a remover of obstacles. Today in Buddhist Thailand, Ganesha is regarded as a remover of obstacles, the god of success. Before the arrival of Islam, Afghanistan had close cultural ties with India, and the adoration of both Hindu and Buddhist deities was practiced. Examples of sculptures from the 5th to the 7th centuries have survived, suggesting that the worship of Ganesha was then in vogue in the region. Ganesha appears in Mahayana Buddhism, not only in the form of the Buddhist god Vinayaka, but also as a Hindu demon form with the same name. His image appears in Buddhist sculptures during the late Gupta period. As the Buddhist god Vinayaka, he is often shown dancing. This form, called Nrtta Ganapati, was popular in northern India, later adopted in Nepal, and then in Tibet. In Nepal, the Hindu form of Ganesha, known as Haramba, is popular. He has 5 heads and rides a lion. Tibetan representations of Ganesha show ambivalent views of him. A Tibetan rendering of Ganapati is Tshogs. In one Tibetan form, he is shown being trodden underfoot by Mahakala, Shiva, a popular Tibetan deity. Other depictions show him as the destroyer of obstacles, and sometimes dancing. Ganesha appears in China and Japan in forms that show distinct regional character. In northern China, the earliest known stone statue of Ganesha carries an inscription dated to 531. In Japan, where Ganesha is known as Kanjin, the Ganesha cult was first mentioned in 806. The canonical literature of Jainism does not mention the worship of Ganesha. However, Ganesha is worshipped by most Jains, for whom he appears to have taken over certain functions of Kibra. Jain connections with the trading community support the idea that Jainism took up Ganesha worship as a result of commercial connections. The earliest known Jain Ganesha statue dates to about the 9th century. A 15th century Jain text lists procedures for the installation of Ganapati images. Images of Ganesha appear in the Jain temples of Rajasthan and Gujarat.
Notes.
Ganesha getting ready to throw his lotus. Bausahali miniature, circa 1730. National Museum, New Delhi. In the Mujale Purana, 770, in order to kill the demon of egotism, Mamasara, who had attacked him, Ganesa Vinayaka throws his lotus at him. Unable to bear the fragrance of the divine flower, the demon surrenders to Ganesha. For quotation of description of the work, see Martin Dubust, 1997, pages 73, Rao, pages 1, Brown, pages 1. Ganesa is often said to be the most worshipped god in India. Getty, pages 1. Ganesa, Lord of the Ganas, although among the latest deities to be admitted to the Brahmanic pantheon, was, and still is, the most universally adored of all the Hindu gods, and his image is found in practically every part of India. Brown, pages 1. Ganesa is often said to be the most worshipped god in India. Getty, pages 1. Ganesa, Lord of the Ganas, although among the latest deities to be admitted to the Brahmanic pantheon, was, and still is, the most universally adored of all the Hindu gods, and his image is found in practically every part of India. Rao, pages 1. Martin Dubust, pages 2-4. Brown, pages 1. Rao, pages 1. Martin Dubust, pages 2-4. Brown, pages 1. Chapter 17, The Travels Abroad, in Nagar, 1992, pages 175-187. For a review of Ganesha's geographic spread and popularity outside of India. Getty, pages 37-88, for discussion of the spread of Ganesha worship to Nepal, Chinese Turkestan, Tibet, Burma, Siam, Indochina, Java, Bali, Borneo, China, and Japan, Martin Dubust, pages 311-320. Thapan, pages 13. Pal, P. X, Chapter 17, The Travels Abroad, in Nagar, 1992, pages 175-187. For a review of Ganesha's geographic spread and popularity outside of India, Getty, pages 37-88, for discussion of the spread of Ganesha worship to Nepal, Chinese Turkestan, Tibet, Burma, Siam, Indochina, Java, Bali, Borneo, China, and Japan, Martin Dubust, pages 311-320. Thapan, pages 13. Pal, P. X, Martin Dubust, pages 2. For Ganesha's role as an eliminator of obstacles, see Commentary on Ganapati Upanishad, verse 12, and Saraswati 2004, pages 80. Heras 1972, pages 58. These ideas are so common that Cartwright uses them in the title of his book, Ganesha, Lord of Obstacles, Lord of Beginnings. Getty, pages 5. Narain, A.K. Ganesa, The Idea and the Icon in Brown 1991, pages 27. For history of the development of the Ganapatya and their relationship to the wide geographic dispersion of Ganesha worship, see Chapter 6, The Ganapatyas in Thapan, 1997, pages 176-213. Cartwright, pages 212-213. For an English translation of Ganesha Purana 1.46, see Bailey, pages 258-269. Narain, A.K. Ganesa, A Proto-History of the Idea and the Icon. Brown, pages 21-22. Apt, pages 395. Narain, A.K. Ganesa, A Proto-History of the Idea and the Icon. Brown, pages 21-22. Apt, pages 395. For the derivation of the name and relationship with the Ganas, see Martin Dubust. Pages 2, A.B. Apt, pages 395. The word Gana is interpreted in this metaphysical sense by Bhaskara in his commentary on the Gana Sahasranama. See in particular commentary on verse 6 including names Ganesvara and Ganakrita in Sastrikis 1991, pages 7-8, Okar 1913, pages 8 for source text of Amarakosa 1.38 as Vinayaka Vinara Jadvimachura Gana Dipa, Apikadanta Rambalamboda Ragajanana. Sastri 1978 for text of Amarakosa versified as 1.1.38, Okar 1913, pages 8 for source text of Amarakosa 1.38 as Vinayaka Vinara Jadvimachura Gana Dipa, Apikadanta Rambalamboda Ragajanana. Sastri 1978 for text of Amarakosa versified as 1.1.38, Y. Krishan, Ganesa, Unraveling an Enigma, pages 6, Parvati who created an image of Ganesa out of her bodily impurities but which became endowed with life after immersion in the sacred waters of the Ganga. Therefore he is said to have two mothers, Parvati and Ganga and hence called Vamachura and also Gangia, Krishan pages 6, A.B. Thapan, pages 20, for the history of the Astavinayaka sites and a description of pilgrimage practices related to them, see, Mate, pages 1-25. These ideas are so common that Cartwright uses them in the title of his book, Ganesha, Lord of Obstacles, Lord of Beginnings. For the name Vinesha, see, Cartwright 1985, pages 156, 213, A.B. for Krishan's views on Ganesha's dual nature see his quote, Ganesa has a dual nature. As Vinayaka, as a Gramadevata, he is Vinakata, and as Ganesa he is Vinahata, a Puranic Devata. Krishan, P. Vis. Martin Dubust, pages 367, Narain, A.K. Ganesa, The Idea and the Icon. Brown, pages 25, Thapan, pages 62, Myanmar English Dictionary, Yangon, Dunwoody Press, 1993, ISBN 1-881-265-47-1, retrieved September 20, 2010, Powell, P.X., Martin Dubust, for a comprehensive review of iconography abundantly illustrated with pictures. Chapter 10, Development of the Iconography of Ganesa, in Krishan 1999, pages 87-100, for a survey of iconography with emphasis on developmental themes, well illustrated with plates. Powell, for a richly illustrated collection of studies on specific aspects of Ganesha with a focus on art and iconography, Martin Dubust, for a comprehensive review of iconography abundantly illustrated with pictures. Chapter 10, Development of the Iconography of Ganesa, in Krishan 1999, pages 87-100, for a survey of iconography with emphasis on developmental themes, well illustrated with plates. Powell, for a richly illustrated collection of studies on specific aspects of Ganesha with a focus on art and iconography, Brown, pages 175, Martin Dubust, pages 213. In the upper right corner, the statue is dated as 973-1200, Powell, P.V. The picture on this page depicts a stone statue in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art that is dated as c. 12th century. Powell shows an example of this form dated c. 13th century on P. Vis. Brown, pages 176, see photograph 2, Large Ganesh, in Powell, pages 16, Martin Dubust, pages 197-198, photograph 9, Ganesh images being taken for immersion, in Powell, pages 22-23. For an example of a large image of this type being carried in a festival procession. Powell, pages 25, for two similar statues about to be immersed, Martin Dubust, pages 197-198, photograph 9, Ganesh images being taken for immersion, in Powell, pages 22-23. For an example of a large image of this type being carried in a festival procession, Powell, pages 25, for two similar statues about to be immersed, Powell, pages 41-64. For many examples of Ganesha dancing. Brown, pages 183. For popularity of the dancing form, Powell, pages 41-64. For many examples of Ganesha dancing, Brown, pages 183. For popularity of the dancing form, four-armed Ganesa. Miniature of Nirpa School, circa 1810. Museum of Chandigarh. For this image see, Martin Dubust, 1997, pages 64, which describes it as follows: on a terrace leaning against a thick white bolster, Ganesa is seated on a bed of pink lotus petals arranged on a low seat to the back of which is fixed a parasol. The elephant-faced god, with his body entirely red, is dressed in a yellow dhoti and a yellow scarf fringed with blue. Two white mice decorated with a pretty golden necklace salute Ganesa by joining their tiny feet together. Ganesa counts on his rosary in his lower right hand. His two upper hands brandish an axe and an elephant goad. His fourth hand holds the broken left tusk. Nagar, pages 77, Brown, pages 3, Nagar, pages 78, Brown, pages 76, Brown, pages 77, Brown, pages 77 to 78, Brown, pages 76 to 77. For creation of Ganesha from Shiva's laughter and subsequent curse by Shiva, see Varaha Purana 23.17 as cited in Brown, pages 77, Getty, pages 1, Heroes, pages 29, Granoff, Phyllis. Ganesa as metaphor. Brown, pages 90, Ganesha in Indian plastic art, and Passim. Nagar, pages 101, Granoff, Phyllis. Ganesa as metaphor. Brown, pages 91, for translation of Uttara as belly see, apt, pages 268, br. p. 2.3.42.34, the Pan, pages 200, for a description of how a variant of this story is used in the Mujla Purana 2.56.38-9, BRP 2.3.42.34, the Pan, pages 200, for a description of how a variant of this story is used in the Mujla Purana 2.56.38-9, for an iconographic chart showing number of arms and attributes classified by source and named form, see, Nagar, pages 191 to 195. Appendix I, for history and prevalence of forms with various arms, and the four-armed form as one of the standard types, see, Kreischen 1999, pages 89, Kreischen 1999, pages 89, for two-armed forms as an earlier development than four-armed forms. Brown, pages 103. Maritinandan Tiwari and Kamalgiri say in images of Ganesa in Jainism that the presence of only two arms on a Ganesha image points to an early date. Kreischen 1999, pages 89, for two-armed forms as an earlier development than four-armed forms. Brown, pages 103. Maritinandan Tiwari and Kamalgiri say in images of Ganesa in Jainism that the presence of only two arms on a Ganesha image points to an early date. Martin Dubust, pages 120, Martin Dubust, pages 202, for an overview of snake images in Ganesha iconography. Kreischen 1999, pages 50 to 53, for an overview of snake images in Ganesha iconography. Martin Dubust, pages 202, for an overview of snake images in Ganesha iconography. Kreischen 1999, pages 50 to 53, for an overview of snake images in Ganesha iconography. Martin Dubust, pages 202 for the Ganesha Purana references for Vasuki around the neck and use of a serpent throne. Kreischen 1999, pages 51 to 52. For the story of wrapping Vasuki around the neck and Sesa around the belly and for the name in his Sahasranama as Sarpagrivaya Kannada, who has a serpent around his neck, which refers to this standard iconographic element. Martin Dubust, pages 202 for the Ganesha Purana references for Vasuki around the neck and use of a serpent throne. Kreischen 1999, pages 51 to 52. For the story of wrapping Vasuki around the neck and Sesa around the belly and for the name in his Sahasranama as Sarpagrivaya Kannada, who has a serpent around his neck, which refers to this standard iconographic element. Martin Dubust, pages 202. For text of a stone inscription dated 1470 identifying Ganesha's sacred thread as the serpent Sesa. Nagar, pages 92. For the snake is a common type of Yajnaparvata for Ganesha, Martin Dubust, pages 202. For text of a stone inscription dated 1470 identifying Ganesha's sacred thread as the serpent Sesa, Nagar, pages 92. For the snake is a common type of Yajnaparvata for Ganesha, Nagar, pages 81. For third eye or Shaiva Talaka with 3 horizontal lines. The Dhyamin, Sharma, 1993 edition of Ganesha Purana, I46.1. For Ganesa visualized as Trantram, having 3 eyes, Nagar, pages 81. For third eye or Shaiva Talaka with 3 horizontal lines. The Dhyamin, Sharma, 1993 edition of Ganesha Purana, I46.1. For Ganesa visualized as Trantram, having 3 eyes, Nagar, pages 81. For citation to Ganesha Purana 114.21-25 and for citation to Padma Purana as prescribing the crescent for decoration of the forehead of Ganesha, Bailey, 1995, pages 198 to 199. For translation of Ganesha Purana 114, which includes a meditation form with moon on forehead, Nagar, pages 81. For citation to Ganesha Purana 114.21-25 and for citation to Padma Purana as prescribing the crescent for decoration of the forehead of Ganesha, Bailey, 1995, pages 198 to 199. For translation of Ganesha Purana 114, which includes a meditation form with moon on forehead, Nagar, pages 81. For Palakandra as a distinct form worshipped. Sharma, 1993 edition of Ganesha Purana, I46.15. For the name Palakandra appearing in the Ganesha Sahasranama, Nagar, pages 81. For Palakandra as a distinct form worshipped. Sharma, 1993 edition of Ganesha Purana, I46.15. For the name Palakandra appearing in the Ganesha Sahasranama, A.B. Nagar, Preface, The Colors of Ganesha. Martin Dubust, pages 221 to 230. Martin Dubust, pages 224 to 228. Martin Dubust, pages 228. Ganesha. The Walters Art Museum, Krychen, pages 48, 89, 92. Krychen, pages 49. Krychen, pages 48 to 49. Bailey, 1995, pages 348. For the Ganesha Purana story of Mayasva with the Peacock Mount, GPI 84.2-3, Maritinandan Tiwari and Kamalgiri, Images of Ganesa in Jainism, in Brown, pages 101 to 102. Krychen, pages 48 to 49. Bailey, 1995, pages 348. For the Ganesha Purana story of Mayasva with the Peacock Mount, GPI 84.2-3, Maritinandan Tiwari and Kamalgiri, Images of Ganesa in Jainism, in Brown, pages 101 to 102. Naga. Preface. Martin Dubust, pages 231 to 244. Naga. Preface. Martin Dubust, pages 231 to 244. See note on figure 43 in Martin Dubust, pages 144. Citations to Matsya Purana 260.54, Brahmananda Purana Lalita Mahatmya XXVII, and Ganesha Purana 2.134 to 136 are provided by Martin Dubust, pages 231. Martin Dubust, pages 232. From Usaka Vahana CV. 6. Bharakhyatarna CV. 67. In Ganesaza Hasranamastotra Mula Evam Sripuskararakta Hridayata Vartika Sayata. Prashaya Prakasana, Varanasi, 1991. Source text with a commentary by Puskararaya in Sanskrit, for a review of different interpretations, and quotation, c. Grimes, 1995, pages 86, A Student's Guide to A.S. Religious Studies for the OCR Specification, by Michael Wilcoxon, pg 117, Krychen pages 49 to 50. Martin Dubust, pages 231. Rocha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature, in Brown, 1991, pages 73. For mention of the interpretation that the rat is the animal that finds its way to every place, Martin Dubust, pages 231. Rocha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature, in Brown, 1991, pages 73. For mention of the interpretation that the rat is the animal that finds its way to every place, Lord of Obstacles, a common name, appears in the title of Kortrite's Ganesa, Lord of Obstacles, Lord of Beginnings. For equivalent Sanskrit names Vinesvara and Vinaraja, see Kortrite, pages 136, Kortrite, pages 136. For Dhavalkar's views on Ganesha's shifting role, see Dhavalkar, M.K. Ganesa, Myth and Reality in Brown 1991, pages 49, Brown, pages 6, Nagar, pages 5, Apt, pages 703, Ganesha Purana 146, v. 5 of the Ganesha Sahasranama section in GP 1993, Sharma edition. It appears in verse 10 of the version as given in the Bhaskararaya commentary, Sharma edition, GP 1993 I-46, verses 204 to 206. The Bailey edition uses a variant text, and where Sharma reads Buddha Priya, Bailey translates Granter of Lax, Practical Sanskrit Dictionary by Arthur Anthony MacDonnell. Pages 187, Priya. Published 2004. Motilal Banarsidas Pub. ISBN 81-208-2000-2, Krishan 1999. Pages 60 to 70 discusses Ganesha as Buddha's husband, Grimes, pages 77, Chinmayananda, pages 127. In Chinmayananda's numbering system, this is Uppermantra 8, for examples of both, see Grimes, pages 79 to 80. A.B. Tantra Unveiled, Seducing the Forces of Matter and Spirit by Ramani Tigonate. Contributor Deborah Willoughby. Published 1999. Himalayan Institute Press. Pages 83. ISBN 0-89389-158-4, translation. Kortrite, pages 253, Chinmayananda, Opsit, pages 127. In Chinmayananda's numbering system this is part of Uppermantra 7. You have a permanent abode, in every being, at the place called Muladhara. This work is reproduced and described in Martin Dubust, 1997, pages 51, which describes it as follows. This square-shaped miniature shows us in a Himalayan landscape the god Jiva sweetly pouring water from his kamandalu on the head of baby Ganesa. Seated comfortably on the meadow, Parvati balances with her left hand the baby Ganesa with 4 arms with a red body and naked, adorned only with jewels, tiny anklets and a golden chain around his stomach, a necklace of pearls, bracelets and armlets. Nagar, pages 7 to 14. For a summary of Puranic variants of birth stories. Martin Dubust, pages 41 to 82. Chapter 2, Stories of Birth according to the Puranas, Nagar, pages 7 to 14. For a summary of Puranic variants of birth stories, Martin Dubust, pages 41 to 82. Chapter 2, Stories of Birth according to the Puranas, Shiva Purana 4. 17.47-57. Matsya Purana 154.547. Varaha Purana 23.18-59, for summary of Brahma Vaivata Purana, Ganesha Kanda, 10.8-37, c. Nagar, pages 11 to 13, for a summary of variant names for Skanda, c. Thapan, pages 300, Koka and Saraswati, pages 4, Brown, pages 4, 79, Gupta, pages 38, for a review, c. Cohen, Lawrence. The Wives of Ganesa. Brown, pages 115 to 140, Getty 1936, pages 33. According to ancient tradition, Ganesa was a Brahmakaran, that is, an unmarried deity. but legend gave him two consorts, personifications of wisdom, Buddhi, and success, Siddhi. Krystian 1999, pages 63. In the smarter or orthodox traditional religious beliefs, Ganesa is a bachelor or brahmachari, Getty 1936, pages 33. According to ancient tradition, Ganesa was a brahmacharin, that is, an unmarried deity. But legend gave him two consorts, personifications of wisdom, Buddhi, and success, Siddhi. Krystian 1999, pages 63. In the smarter or orthodox traditional religious beliefs, Ganesa is a bachelor or brahmachari. For discussion on celibacy of Ganesha, see Cohen, Lawrence, The Wives of Ganesa, in Brown 1991, pages 126 to 129. For a review of associations with Buddhi, Siddhi, Riddhi, and other figures, and the statement in short the spouses of Ganesa are the personifications of his powers, manifesting his functional features. See Krystian 1999, pages 62. For single consort or a nameless dasi, servant, see Cohen, Lawrence, The Wives of Ganesa, in Brown 1991, pages 115. For associations with Sada and Sarasvati and the identification of those goddesses with one another, see Cohen, Lawrence, The Wives of Ganesa, in Brown 1991, pages 131 to 132. For associations with Lakshmi, see Cohen, Lawrence, The Wives of Ganesa, in Brown 1991, pages 132 to 135. For discussion of the Kalabu, see Cohen, Lawrence, The Wives of Ganesa, in Brown 1991, pages 124 to 125. For statement regarding sons, see Cohen, Lawrence, The Wives of Ganesa, in Brown 1991, pages 130. Cohen, Lawrence, The Wives of Ganesa. Brown, pages 130. For Pan, pages 15 to 16. 230, 239, 242, 251, Cohen, Lawrence. The Wives of Ganesa. Brown, pages 130. For Pan, pages 15 to 16, 230, 239, 242, 251, Krystian pages 1 to 3, K. N. Somaorji, Concept of Ganesha, pages 1 is quoted in Krystian pages 2 to 3, Krystian pages 38. For worship of Ganesha by followers of all sects and denominations, Saivites, Vaisnavites, Buddhists and Jainas, see Krystian 1981 to 1982, pages 285, Grimes pages 27. The term Modaka applies to all regional varieties of cakes or sweets offered to Ganesha. Martin Dubust, pages 204, Martin Dubust, pages 204, Martin Dubust, pages 369, Martin Dubust, pages 95 to 99, for Pan pages 215, for the fourth waxing day in Magha being dedicated to Ganesa, Ganesa Chaturthi, c. Bhattacharya, b. Festivals and Sacred Days, in Bhattacharya, Volume 4, pages 483, The Experience of Hinduism, Essays on Religion in Maharashtra. Edited by Eleanor Zelliot, Maxine Buntzen, pages 76 to 94, The Ganesh Festival in Maharashtra, Some Observations by Paul B. Courtwright. Published 1988. SUNY Press. ISBN 0-88706-664-X, Metcalf and Metcalf, pages 150, Brown, 1992, pages 9. For Pan, pages 225. For Tilak's role in converting the private family festivals to a public event in support of Indian nationalism, Brown, 1992, pages 9. For Pan, pages 225. For Tilak's role in converting the private family festivals to a public event in support of Indian nationalism, Moomin, A.R., The Legacy of G.S. Uri, A Centennial Festschrift, pages 95. Brown, 1991, pages 9. For Ganesha's appeal as the god for every man as a motivation for Tilak, Moomin, A.R., The Legacy of G.S. Uri, A Centennial Festschrift, pages 95, Brown, 1991, pages 9. For Ganesha's appeal as the god for every man is a motivation for Tilak. For Tilak is the first to use large public images in mandapas, pavilions or tents, c. Thapan, pages 225. For Ganesh Chaturthi is the most popular festival in Maharashtra, c. Thapan, pages 226, Ganesa in a regional setting. Kortrite, pages 202 to 247, Christian pages 92, Brown pages 3, Grimes, pages 110 to 112, Christian pages 91 to 92, T. A. Gopinatha. Elements of Hindu Iconography, pages 47 to 48 as quoted in Christian pages 2, Christian pages 147 to 158, Ganesha Temples Worldwide, A. B. Narain, A.K. Ganesa, A Proto-History of the Idea and the Icon, in, Brown, pages 19, Nagar, pages 4, Narain, A.K. Ganesa, A Proto-History of the Idea and the Icon. Brown, pages 19 to 20, Kortrite, pages 10 to 11, Thapan, pages 54, Thapan, pages 75, Pasim. Thapan. Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature. Brown, pages 70 to 72, Pasim. Thapan, Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature. Brown, pages 70 to 72, Aitareya Brahmana, 1, 21, Pondaka. Vaishnavism, Saivism and other minor sects pages 147 to 48, Christian, P. Voe. For a discussion of early depiction of elephant-headed figures in art, see Christian 1981 to 1982, pages 287 to 290 or Krishna 1985, pages 31 to 32, Elawala, pages 159, Loving Ganesa, Hinduism's Endearing Elephant-Faced God, by Subramaniya, pages 268, Dilip, volume 2 pages 31, The Art and Iconography of Vishnu Narayana, pages 12, by Nanditha Krishna, Wilson, HHRGVEDA Samhita. Sanskrit text, English translation, notes, and index of verses. Parimal Sanskrit Series No. 45. Volume 2, Mandalas 2, 3, 4, 5. Second Revised Edition. Edited and revised by Ravi Prakasharaya and K. L. Joshi. Parimal Publications, Delhi, 2001. ISBN 81-7110-140-9, vol. 2. ISBN 81-7110-138-7, set. RV 2.23.1, 2222, Gainanam Chvarganapatim Havamaya Kavim Kavanamipamus Ravastamam 2.23.1. We invoke the Brahmanaspati, chief leader of the heavenly bands. A Sage of Sages, Nagar, pages 3. Rao, pages 1, Nagar, pages 3, Rao, pages 1, Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature. Brown, pages 69. Paspati is a variant name for Brahmanaspati, Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature. Brown, pages 69 to 70, Wilson, HHRGVEDA Samhita. Sanskrit text, English translation, notes, and index of verses. Parimal Sanskrit Series No. 45. Volume 4, Mandalas 9, 10. Second Revised Edition. Edited and revised by Ravi Prakasharaya and K. L. Joshi. Parimal Publications, Delhi, 2001. ISBN 81-7110-142-5, vol. 4. ISBN 81-7110-138-7, set. RV 10.112.9, 10092, Ni Susida Ganapat Ganasutvam or Hervapratamam Kavanam. Lord of the Companies, of the Maruts, sit down among the companies, of the worshippers, they call you the most sage of sages. For use of RV verses in recent Ganapati literature, see Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature in Brown 1991, pages 70. The verse, Tat Karotala Vidmaya Hastamakad Mahitan no Danti Prakadayat. The verse, Tat Purusha Vidmaya Vakratundayat Mahitan no Danti Prakadayat. The text of Maitreya Samhita 2.9.1 and Taittiriya Aranyaka 10.1 and identification by Siana in his commentary on the Aranyaka, c. Rosha, Ludo, Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature in Brown 1991, pages 70, Taittiriya Aranyaka, 10, 1, 5, Heroes, pages 28, Krishan 1981-1982, pages 290, Krishan 1999, pages 12-15. For arguments documenting interpolation into the Maitreya Samhita, Krishan 1981-1982, pages 290, Krishan 1999, pages 12-15. For arguments documenting interpolation into the Maitreya Samhita, Thapan, pages 101. For interpolation into the Maitreya Samhita and Taittiriya Aranyaka. Tavalekar, M.K. Ganesa, Myth and Reality in Brown 1991, pages 56-57. For Tavalekar's views on Ganeshas in early literature, Thapan, pages 101. For interpolation into the Maitreya Samhita and Taittiriya Aranyaka, Tavalekar, M.K. Ganesa, Myth and Reality in Brown 1991, pages 56-57. For Tavalekar's views on Ganeshas in early literature, Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature. Brown, pages 71-72, Mahabharata Volume 1 Part 2. Critical edition, pages 884, for statement that 59 manuscripts of the Adapavan were consulted for the reconstruction of the critical edition. The story of Ganesa acting as the scribe for writing the Mahabharata occurs in 37 manuscripts, c. Krishan 1999, pages 31, note 4, Brown, pages 4, Winternitz, Morris. Ganesa in the Mahabharata. Journal of the Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland, 1898 382. Citation provided by Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature. Brown, pages 80, for interpolations of the term Vinayaka c. Krishan 1999, pages 29, for reference to Vinayakatrinam and translation as creator of obstacles, c. Krishan 1999, pages 29, Brown, pages 183, Krishan, pages 103, Rosha, Ludo. Ganesa's rise to prominence in Sanskrit literature. Brown, pages 73, Cartwright, pages 163. For dating of the Pankayatana puja and its connection with Smarta Brahmins. Bhattacharya, S., Indian Hymnology, in, Bhattacharya, 1956, Volume 4, pages 470. For the five divinities, Pankadavata, becoming the major deities in general, and their listing as Shiva, Shakti, Vishnu, Siya, and Ganesha, Cartwright, pages 163. For dating of the Pankayatana puja and its connection with Smarta Brahmins, Bhattacharya, S., Indian Hymnology, in, Bhattacharya, 1956, Volume 4, pages 470. For the five divinities, Pankadavata, becoming the major deities in general, and their listing as Shiva, Shakti, Vishnu, Siya, and Ganesha, Grimes, pages 162. Pal, Px, Grimes, pages 162, Pal, Px, Thapan, pages 196-197. Addresses the Pankayatana in the Smarta tradition and the relationship of the Ganesha Purana and the Mujla Purana to it. For a review of major differences of opinions between scholars on dating, see Thapan, pages 30-33, Preston, Lawrence W., Subregional Religious Centers in the History of Maharashtra, the Sites Sacred to Ganesa, in, N. K. Eagle, ed., Images of Maharashtra, a regional profile of India. Pages 103. R.C. Hazra, the Ganesa Purana, Journal of the Ganganatha Research Institute, 1951. 79-99. Phyllis Granoff, Ganesa as Metaphor, in Brown, pages 94-95. Note 2. The Pan, pages 30-33. Courtwright, pages 252. This work and its description are shown in Pal, pages 125. For a representation of this form identified as Maharashtra, see Pal, pages 130. Loving Ganesa, Hinduism's Endearing Elephant-Faced God, by Subramaniya, pages 268. Nagar, pages 175. Nagar, pages 174. The Pan, pages 170. The Pan, pages 152. Getty, pages 55. Getty, pages 55-66. Getty, pages 52. A. B. Brown, pages 182. Nagar, pages 175. Martin Dubust, pages 311. Getty, pages 37-45. Getty, pages 37. Getty, pages 38. Getty, pages 40. Nagar, pages 185. Wayman, Alex, 2006. Chanting the Names of Manjushri. Motilal Banarsidas Publishers, pages 76. ISBN 81-208-1653-6. Getty, pages 42. Nagar, pages 185. Getty, pages 42. Nagar, pages 185. Nagar, pages 185-186. Martin Dubust, pages 311. Martin Dubust, pages 313. A. B. Kreishan, pages 121. The Pan, pages 157. The Pan, pages 151, 158, 162, 164, 253. Kreishan, pages 122. The Pan, pages 158.